So for Module 7, this is counterfeit identification. This is divided into two parts. Crimes against public interest under the revised penal code. Pero pumili na lang ako yung mga mahalaga talaga, yung mga kakailanganin ninyo na dapat alam ninyo. And security features of the new generation currency banknotes. Ito yung security features ng pera na meron tayo, na ginagamit natin. Okay, dito muna tayo sa crimes against public interest. So, one part of it is Section 1, forging the seal of the government of the Philippine Islands, the signature or stamp of the chief executive. Pag sinabi natin chief executive, ito ang President of the Philippines. Okay, so Article 161, counterfeiting the Great Seal of the government of the Philippine Islands, forging the signature or the stamp of the chief executive. Of course, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin yung stamp niya, yung signature niya sa kung ano mang dokumento na hindi naman siya mismo ang gumawa. Hindi siya mismo ang nag-author. Okay, so the penalty is reclusion temporal. It shall be imposed upon any person who shall forge the Great Seal of the government of the Philippine Islands or the signature or stamp of the chief executive. Under Article 162, using forged signature or counterfeit seal or stamp, the penalty of prison mayor shall be imposed upon any person who shall knowingly make use of the counterfeited seal or forged signature or stamp mentioned in the preceding article. Anong kaibahan? Sa Article 161, kinounterfeit mo lang. Kinopya mo. Gumawa ka ng kopya ng seal ng government ng Philippines or gumawa ka ng kopya ng signature or ng stamp ng presidente. Sa 162, ginamit mo yun. Nakuha nyo yung kaibahan. Sa 161, ginawa mo lang yung counterfeit. Sa 162, ginamit mo na siya. In-apply mo na siya sa mga documents. Okay. In Section 2, counterfeiting coins. Article 163, making and importing and uttering false coins. Any person who makes, imports, or utters false coins in connivance with counterfeiters or importers shall suffer prison mayor in its maximum and medium periods and a fine not to exceed 10,000 pesos if the counterfeited coin be silver coin of the Philippines or coin of the Central Bank of the Philippines, yung BSP natin, of 10 centavo denomination or above. Prison correctional in its minimum and medium periods and a fine of not to exceed 2,000 pesos if the counterfeited coins be any of the minor coinage of the Philippines or of the Central Bank of the Philippines below 10 centavo denomination. Prison correctional in its minimum period and a fine not to exceed 1,000 pesos if the counterfeited coin be currency of a foreign country as amended by RA 4202. Of course, kung mapapansin ninyo, medyo mababa, 2,000, 1,000 lang yung penalty. Kasi nga, etong batas natin ay noon pa, 1932 pa tong revised penal code, di ba? Pero sabi nga dito, meron din namang amendments. Okay. Article 164, mutilation of coins, importation and utterance of mutilated coins. The penalty of prison correctional in its minimum period and a fine not to exceed 2,000 pesos shall be imposed upon any person who shall mutilate coins of the legal currency of the United States or of the Philippine Islands or import or utter mutilated coins, mutilated current coins or in connivance with mutilators or importers. Kapag sinabi nating mutilation of coins, sinira mo siya. As in yung narinig nyo na to sa revised penal code ninyo, pag sinabi natin mutilation, may pinutol, di ba? May parte ng katawan na pinutol. Ganun din sa coins, may parte na inalis, binawas, literally, sinira siya. Okay. May nagtutunaw ng barya, ginagawang jewelry. Yan, that's considered mutilation. Okay. Article 165, selling of false or mutilated coin without connivance. The person who knowingly, although without the connivance mentioned in the preceding articles, shall possess false or mutilated coin with intent to utter the same, or shall actually utter such coin, shall suffer a penalty lower by 1 degree than that prescribed in the said articles. Section 3. Forging treasury or banknotes, obligations, and securities, importing and uttering false or forged notes, obligations, and securities. Ito na yung papel natin na pera. Article 166, forging treasury or banknotes on other documents payable to bearer, importing and uttering such false coins or forged notes and documents. The forging or falsification of treasury or banknotes or certificates or other obligations and securities payable to bearer, and the importation and uttering in connivance with forgers or importers of such false or forged obligations or notes shall be punished as follows. Ito, reclusion temporal in its minimum, and a fine not to exceed 10,000 pesos. If the document which has been falsified, counterfeited, or altered is an obligations or security of the United States or of the Philippine Islands. Kung mapapansin ninyo, nababanggit yung United States. Bakit? Kasi during this time na nagawa yung batas, kumbaga nag-oversee pa yung US dito sa atin sa Pilipinas. Kaya included sila dyan. The word obligation or security of the United States or of the Philippine Islands shall be held to mean all bonds, certificates of indebtedness, national banknotes, fractional notes, certificates of deposit, bills, checks, or drafts for money drawn by or upon authorized officers of the U.S. or of the Philippine Islands, and other representatives of value of whatever denomination, basta daw may halaga kahit magkano, which have been or may be issued under any act of the Congress of the United States or of the Philippine Legislature. Kahit anong bagay na merong katumbas na denomination nga, kapag ito ay finorge mo, of course, ito ang penalty mo. Article 166 pa rin, by prison mayor in its maximum period, and a fine not to exceed 5,000 pesos. If the falsified or altered document is a circulating note issued by any banking association duly authorized by law to issue the same. Then number 3, by prison mayor in its medium period, and a fine not to exceed 5,000 pesos. If the falsified or counterfeited document was issued by a foreign government. By prison mayor in its minimum period, and a fine not to exceed 2,000 pesos when the forged or altered document is a circulating note or bill issued by a foreign bank duly authorized therefore. Same section pa rin, Article 167 naman, counterfeiting, importing, and uttering instruments not payable to bearer. Any person who shall forge, import, or utter in connivance with the forgers or importers any instrument payable to order or other document of credit not payable to bearer shall suffer the penalties of prison correctional in its medium and maximum periods, and a fine not exceeding 6,000 pesos. Article 168, illegal possession and use of false treasury or banknotes and other instruments of credit, unless the act be one of those coming under the provisions of any of the preceding articles. Any person who shall knowingly use or have in his possession with intent to use any of the false or falsified instruments referred to in this section shall suffer the penalty next lower in degree than that prescribed in said articles. Okay. Dito naman tayo sa forgery. Paano ba ginagawa ang forgery? How forgery is committed under Article 169? The forgery referred to in this section may be committed by any of the following means: by giving to a treasury or banknote or any instrument payable to bearer or order mentioned therein, the appearance of a true genuine document. Kumbaga, yung treasury or banknote or kahit anong instrument nga daw na pwedeng gamitin ay kamukhang kamukha daw nung genuine na document. Kinopya talaga. Another, by erasing, substituting, counterfeiting, or altering by any means the figures, letters, words, or signs contained therein. Pinalitan mo yung halaga, yung words, o kaya yung mga kahit ano doon, kahit anong parte ng banknote, may pinalitan ka, may inalis ka, yun ay considered forgery. Okay, balikan natin ng konti itong mga to. In short, ang ibig sabihin lang nito, kapag meron kang finorge na kahit anong uri ng pera, kapag meron kang sinira na kahit anong uri ng pera, lahat yan punishable by law. Okay. Kapag ginamit mo yung peke na pera na yon, ginamit mo yung forged na pera na yon, yun ay punishable by law. Iba-iba lang ang punishment, pero yun nga yung shortcut natin doon. Lahat yun punishable by law. Okay? Next, falsification naman tayo. Section 4, falsification of legislative, public, commercial, and private documents and wireless, telegraph, and telephone message. Article 170. Falsification of legislative documents. When you say legislative, this pertains to the Senate, to Congress, yung mga gumagawa ng batas. Kapag finalsify mo daw yung mga documents, legislative documents na yun. The penalty of prison correctional in its maximum period and a fine not exceeding 6,000 pesos shall be imposed upon any person who, without proper authority, therefore, alters any bill, resolution, or ordinance enacted or approved by pending approval by either house of the legislature or any provincial board or municipal council. Basta kahit anong dokumento na related sa ating legislative branch, whether sa House of Representatives, sa Congress ba mismo, or sa Senate. Basta kapag may finalsify kang document, punishable by law yun. Falsification by public officer, employee, or notary, or ecclesiastic minister, Article 171. Ito yung mga nag-i-issue ng public documents. The penalty of prison mayor and a fine not to exceed 5,000 pesos shall be imposed upon any public officer, employee, or notary who, taking advantage of his official position, shall falsify a document by committing any of the following acts: counterfeiting or imitating any handwriting, signature, or rubric. May ginamit kang pirma, ginamit kang handwriting, kinokopya mo yung sulat ng iba. Causing it to appear that persons have participated in any act or proceeding when they did not in fact so participate. So, sabihin natin may document, pumirma ka doon, pero yung pirma mo ay katulad ng pirma ng ibang tao, kinopya mo lang. So, ang dating, sumang-ayon yung taong yun, yung pinangpirma mo. Okay? Yan, hindi pwede yun. Attributing to persons who have participated in an act or proceeding statements other than those in fact made by them. Then making untruthful statements in a narration of facts, altering true dates, making any alteration or intercalation in a genuine document which changes its meaning. Issuing in an authenticated form a document purporting to be a copy of an original document when no such original exists, or including in such a copy a statement contrary to or different from that of the genuine original, or intercalating any instrument or note relative to the issuance thereof in a protocol, registry, or official book. The same penalty shall be imposed upon any ecclesiastic minister who shall commit any of the offenses enumerated in the preceding paragraphs of this article with respect to any record or document of such character that its falsification may affect the civil status of person. Kasi nga, yung mga pare, mga ministro, nagkakasal sila. Kaya maaaring kung fake ang document, kung falsified ang isang document, it may affect the civil status of persons. Married pala siya. Diba? O kaya annulled pala siya. Yun, mababago. Or Article 172, falsification by private individual naman. Yung kanina kasi, public official, public officers, public employees, notary, or ecclesiastic minister. Ito, private individual naman. And use of falsified documents. The penalty of prison correctional in its medium and maximum periods and a fine not more than 5,000 pesos shall be imposed upon any private individual who shall commit any of the falsifications enumerated in the next preceding article in any public or official document or letter of exchange or any other kind of commercial document. And any person who, to the damage of a third party or with the intent to cause such damage, shall in any private document commit any of the acts of falsification enumerated in the next preceding article. Any person who shall knowingly introduce in evidence in any judicial proceeding or to the damage of another, or who with the intent to cause such damage shall use any of the false documents embraced in the next preceding article or in any of the foregoing subdivisions. Okay yan. Okay.